Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another DMU live stream. Now, this live stream is all about accounting and economics. I'm going to be your host. I'm Georgia, and I'm part of the Faculty of Business and Law Marketing team. Whilst I'll be able to give you some direction on fees, funding, and general information about DMU and life in Leicester, we need an expert to help us with this. So today I will be joined by, everything's gone a little bit wrong. So today I will be joined by Uzayr first class accounting and economics graduate, and he will give you a first account of his time at DMU, his placement at Boots UK, and his graduate position with Deutsche Bank. So without further ado, let me introduce him to the stream.
Hi everyone. Hi guys. My name's Uzayr. Most people call me Ozzy. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us today, Ozzy. So if you are watching, drop us a comment, say hi, let us know if you have any questions. We're going to be on for about the next 30 minutes, so there's going to be an opportunity to ask any questions during the stream. So I think we should just sort of like get straight into it and talk about the fact that you have achieved a first class degree from DMU. Now, I know people will be watching this and being like, what would your tips be? How would you sort of get people to sort of level that you've at? Any recommendations, any tips?
Yeah, so just off the top of my head, I'd say just managing your time, because everyone goes to university to enjoy themselves, to meet new people, especially when you're starting off. You don't really think of all the work side of things, because people say first year doesn't count towards your final degree score. But in actuality, when you join university in first year, it's sort of setting the foundations to build from. So yeah, managing your time, you can go out, enjoy yourself, but also when it comes down to it, when you're revising, doing your assignments, preparing for exams, to just manage your time and focus on that and just prioritize.
Yeah, amazing. I definitely think prioritizing your time is key. It's key to everything.
100%. Yeah.
So obviously there'll be people watching the stream now that will be coming to university and sometimes leaving home for the first time in September or October. What was the transition like for yourself from going to sixth form or college to coming into university? How was that first year?
The first year, yeah, it can be a daunting experience when you haven't visited a city before. Like, I hadn't visited Leicester before. I'm from London originally. So when I first got to Leicester, I was a bit like, it's so small, and will I have a good time here? Because everything compared to London is so small. but initially, as soon as you meet your flatmates and people, you realize everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Um, so we're all going through the same thing. We're all maybe a bit nervous, curious, and excited mainly to just get started, see everyone, and just figure out the city and the uni lifestyle, which everyone seems to be so excited about. Because before I came to uni, everyone was telling me, it's the best years of your life.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe it because I thought, oh, here in Leicester is going to be the best years. Um, but it turns out it was, especially my first year, the first term as well, was memorable. Like I think I've met friends there in my first week that I'm still friends with now, 6 years later. Um,
Oh, that's
and yeah,
amazing.
it's crazy like how you get put in the same flat or the same floor, and you can be friends for a lifetime. So the transition for me was good, but it's all personal experiences.
Yeah.
Maybe I got lucky.
So I think
Yeah,
one of the things, and this is not a question that we've got, basically
yeah,
listening to what you speak, you said that the kind of the difference between London and Leicester, you
yeah,
didn't know what to expect. In the end,
no,
how did you find life in Leicester? Did you enjoy it? Was it
yeah.
like nice being a smaller city?
Yeah, looking back at it, I always encourage people to go to uni outside of London if they're from London, just because it's a new city. And Leicester, especially Midlands unis, but Leicester in particular, everything's within a walking distance. So in my first year, I lived 10 minutes from DMU. Second year, I lived 5 minutes, and then my final year I was on campus. So there's plenty of choices. Um, all of the bars and restaurants are within walking distance. After a night out, walking distance to the lectures, walking distance. It's just really nice as opposed to traveling far to go to university in another city or to take the tube to go to your lectures. Leicester had it all really. It's like a mini London, and all your friends live around you as well, which is really good.
Oh, I love that. And
Yeah,
another thing for people that are watching, that
mhm,
Leicester is actually like a really central location as well.
yeah,
So I commute from outside of Leicester, and that
mhm,
takes me about 40 to 45 minutes.
yeah.
Leicester is about an hour away on the train, Aussie.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
from London, yeah.
yeah, or whilst you are central, and like Ozzy said,
Yeah.
whilst it is a bit smaller than London, you're in a great location to get to all these different places
Yeah,
in the UK as well.
yeah,
Now, another thing that I know is that you came to DMU through clearing.
yeah, I did,
So,
yeah.
um, so can you sort of take us through like how you secured your place and sort of what led you to come to DMU through clearing?
Yeah, so initially, I'm sure people watching are aware, but you apply through UCAS. So my initial A levels were tailored to do pharmacy. So I wanted to do pharmacy at uni. And DME was actually in my five choices. So it was my insurance choice. Um, and I did actually visit the uni with the intention of doing pharmacy while I was in my second year of A levels. So I was familiar with the uni, just not the accounting faculty or the finance business faculty. I was looking at the health and sciences faculty because of pharmacy. Um, so in the end, I didn't achieve the A levels that I required to get into pharmacy. But I had picked economics as one of my A levels, so I always had that in the back of my mind. And it turns out I really did enjoy it, and that was my highest scoring A level. So I did like the look of DMU on results, oh, sorry, on the open day. So I called them up on results day and I said, look, this is my situation. These are my grades. Um, I did initially apply to pharmacy as one of my choices. Didn't get into there. Would it be possible to get into accounting and economics? Because economics is a subject I enjoyed at A level and I thought I wanted to pursue it. And it's quite a broad degree choice as well because you can go into many different avenues. It's not specific to a certain sector. Um, so just many positives. And yeah, I called them up, spoke to them on the phone, and they gave me a verbal offer. Um, and the next day it was confirmed. I think. Sorry, it's 6 years ago, so it's been a while. Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry, one second.
Oh, muted. Sorry,
Yeah.
that happened. So it sounds like you had a really positive
Mhm.
experience coming through
Yeah,
clearing and sort of changing the courses. So sort of like you say, you were going from
yeah,
pharmacy to accounting and
mhm,
economics.
yeah.
How how did it feel once you'd sort of got that place at DMU and it was all confirmed and you were joining us in September? I know it was
So
6 years ago,
yeah,
so
I mean, obviously, as an 18-year-old, I was very excited to be going to uni. I felt like it was the next stage of my life, and I was really looking forward to it. So, and I wasn't really regretting my choice at all because I really did enjoy economics at A
Mm,
level, and I did work experience in a pharmacy before, well, that summer before university, and I really didn't enjoy it. So, I was thinking in the back of my mind, it's not really for me anyway. So I did want to change it, but obviously it's too late by then. I was just going to see how it goes and take it from there. Um, but yeah, I think everything happens for a reason, and it's worked out like well for me, thankfully.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was just about to say sort of the path that you've taken now
yeah,
is crazy, and,
yeah,
um, people will see you doing well, you're working for a bank now, a huge company, and
yeah.
they'll think, "Congratulations to him," like, but they won't really know the amount of work that you put into all of
Yeah.
this. So how did you first find work experience in sort of accounting and economics?
Um, so so the university offers, especially in accounting and economics, they offer the chance to do a placement year between your second and third year. Um, so it's essentially a gap in your education for you to go and work. So in my second year, you start applying literally as soon as you sort of go in October. Um, and the university has a really good placements team who sort of assist you in interviews and assessment centres,
Mhm.
and everything associated with finding a placement. So even the search, or they can recommend you to join a certain company based on your skills. So I sat down with them at the start of second year with the intention of finding a placement by the end of the year. And it is very competitive actually to get a placement. I'll be honest with the students watching. Um, there was countless emails back and forth, a few rejections here and there, because I didn't have any previous accounting or work-related experience in finance. So I was always on the back foot in that sense. Plus, my A levels didn't help. So yeah, it was a few interviews. I got to a few final stages. Wasn't successful in, unfortunately. But then at the end of the year, during exam period, actually, I had a final interview with the Boots UK head office to do a finance placement there, and that was based in Nottingham, so it's somewhere where I was wanting to live as well as a student. So it was pretty exciting, and I got a call back. It was actually just before results day in the summer, so mid of June. I didn't know if I was going into final year or placement year by then. So I was really stressing over, do I need to book accommodation or
Yeah.
am I having the year out of uni during the summer holiday as well? But thankfully, I got a call from them, and I moved to Nottingham in uh, start of August 2016 to do a year's placement there in finance.
Amazing. So you've touched on it slightly. So,
Yeah,
how important, considering that you sort of like you said, you had no previous experience of
yeah,
finance or accounting, you came from a
yeah,
pharmacy background. How important was that placement year for you? And again, you've touched on sort of our great placements
yeah.
team. What was the support like for you overall and during the year as a placement student?
As a placement student, the support is amazing because you're technically just on your own. You're not with any other students other than the other students that they hire, which was 10 other students from all different unis. So yeah, throughout the year, you're in contact with the placements team. You do have assignments to do. They're not too difficult. They're sort of more like a diary of what you do. So it's not really for the uni, it's more for yourself. So you can reflect back on what you've done, what you've learnt, and going forward, you can sort of build on that, on the skills that you've gained during the year. So yeah, regular contact with them, that you might have with assignments or working life. You actually have a tutor come to visit you at your workplace from the uni, who's
Okay.
usually a senior lecturer from your course. So I had Dr. John Margerison visit me twice, and thankfully he lived in Nottingham as well, so it was quite convenient for him. So he visits twice. He sort of meets your managers, sort of has a formal chat with them to see how you're getting on. Then they have a chat with you if you've got any issues. Um, and at the end of the year, you present something to your personal tutor, who was John Margerison, and also your managers and maybe a couple of directors, which can sound quite daunting, but it's more of a barrier that you can just push through. And once you've done that, you're not really afraid to present to any students or any peers anymore. Um, yeah,
Amazing. So we're about halfway through the stream now. So
yeah,
if you do have any questions and you're watching, please feel free to drop us a comment and we will get those answered for you. Um, so you've done your placement at Boots, like you say,
yeah,
you weren't sure if that was going to be sort of your journey or not. However, you
yeah,
completed it. You did your final year at university, and then you graduated, and now
yeah.
you have a grad job. Can you tell us a little bit about who you work for and sort of your role is, what your role is?
Yeah, so I work for Deutsche Bank. I'm on their finance graduate scheme. Um, so yeah, it's a multinational investment bank, also a financial services firm, based in I think 58 countries, mainly based in Europe, and it's Germany's largest bank. So the headquarters are in Frankfurt in Germany, but the UK, so London, also has a big headquarters. So I work in Canary Wharf in London, um, and yeah, so I'm on the graduate scheme, which is 1 year long, and I've had three different roles already. So it's 3 months each. I'm currently on my final, they call it rotation. So I'm on my fourth role. And so far, I've worked in the private bank, looking at specific banking products, such as trade finance, options, etc., which you may learn about on your course. My second role was more accounting based, which you'll definitely learn about. And that's more looking at business tax, corporate finance, and the modules that you may cover in your second year. And my third role, it was more project based, which isn't something that you'll cover in your degree as much because it's more general, but it was still around finance and projects used to reduce costs at the bank. And my current rotation is also a cost based project role. So I've had quite a big scope of things and
Mm.
it's been really exciting here.
So, like you say, in terms of like grad roles, you do rotations.
Yeah.
And out of all the rotations that you've done, what's kind of been your favorite one to date?
Um, I'll probably say my second one,
Hmm.
which was the accounting one. Um, Accounting, to people that don't know accounting, might sound a bit boring because they might think it's just someone sat behind a desk calculating things all day,
Hmm.
Excel spreadsheets all day, but it's really not that. There's a kind of a big story that goes into finance, um, and it's a lot of investigation as well, where we can reduce costs, um, where costs can be allocated, where we can improve profitability, in different areas. So it's kind of like being a detective as well, financial detective.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of forensic accounting as well, which is something you'll look at in final year. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I've learned this year which can be associated with my degree, and it's just been a lot of learning.
And again, like you say, that people, I think people have the assumption as as a like a grad student and a grad job that you don't get to work on projects and you just do
Yeah.
like sort of menial tasks. Can you
Mhm.
just like name sort of one of the projects that you've been working on or sort of the things that you've been involved in on like a day-to-day
A lot of
basis?
the stuff I work on is quite confidential, but I can give sort of a an outline. So the project that I'm on currently is to do with reducing costs at the bank. So a bank split into four different parts. So there's a front office, a back office, middle office, and then everything in between that. Um, so it's just to do with making costs more transparent to the front office. Um, and it's a project that's going to go on for 3, 4 years. And the grads are seen as future leaders at the bank, which means
Hmm.
they really push you forward. And there's a lot of learning opportunities. They really want you to succeed. There's a lot of courses that we go on. We had a month of training before we even started the grad scheme, a whole month, and grads from around the world flew into London. So from the US, Brazil, Sydney, Australia, Hong Kong, they all flew to London, which is hard for us because we're from London, so we didn't get to go anywhere. Um, but we had 4 weeks of meeting all the grads from around the world. and a lot of finance-based training, but also like competency-based. So it was quite a a lot of training that we did with the bank.
Yeah. So, have you found that your degree helped shape the way you think at work? And if so, how did
Mhm.
it?
Um, I'd say because I came from an accounting and economics degree background, it definitely laid the foundations down for me. A
Mhm.
lot of people working at banks, funnily enough, they don't do finance related degrees. They might do, even some people that I've met have done history or politics and things like that. So it's definitely given me a leg up in terms of just learning the basics, etc.
Yeah.
But things you learn in your degree, especially with things like group work, prioritizing, time management,
Mhm.
just soft skills picked up from maybe not finance related work, but just in general. You know, you might be balancing applying for placements while you got an assignment due on Friday,
Mhm.
and just things like that, which you don't consciously think about. Um, but that's how I sort of built that first skill of time management, and it's gone onto my work life now. So just things like that.
And for students that are thinking of studying like accounting or economics
Yeah,
courses and they want a future career in banking, what
yeah.
areas would you say sort of are the most important to work on and sort of have strength in?
In terms of subjects, or
Yeah, in terms of subjects or in terms of like skills that you've
Mhm.
realised that sort of were quite important to yourself.
Okay. I'd say if you do join accounting and economics, the modules that you'd probably want to focus on, obviously focus on every module, but the ones that you'd want to put increased importance to would be corporate finance, because it's
Mhm.
literally most of what you learn in corporate finance module is stuff that is covered in banking. So things
Yeah,
like options, swaps, financial markets, things like that, which would be good to have the basics of. Um, and in terms of skills, as I've mentioned before, time management,
yeah,
perseverance, because banking's got a reputation of being quite difficult, especially in terms of working hours or just um, the strenuous nature of the work. Can be quite challenging, especially for a grad, especially if you haven't done a placement year or worked before or done an internship or something. So it can be quite daunting. So just to be aware of, it can be in all aspects of work, not just in banking, just to be aware of managing your time, prioritizing tasks, and
mhm.
keeping positive, because I think that'll definitely help.
Perfect, yeah, that's great. And now you graduated a number of years ago, so I know
Mhm.
this is gonna be, like, taking your mind back
Yeah.
quite a while, but what sort of, topics did you enjoy? Was it taxation, finance,
Mhm.
or, like, what was kind of your area that you enjoyed at DMU?
It was probably mainly financial markets because it's
Mhm,
quite relevant to what was going on at the time, which was 2016, 17. It was kind of around the Brexit time. So a lot of my assignments were based on Brexit and what was occurring in the news and current affairs. So I enjoyed something that was actually happening at the moment. Um, and I'm not sure what the curriculum will be currently, but I'm sure coronavirus will play into something in the degree because
yeah.
it's going to be talked about for years and the financial impact across the globe. Um, so yeah, definitely that module and a lot of the stuff that I learned in that module, I've sort of used in my working life here at Deutsche. So it's really helped.
Okay, so before we get into our little Q&A, where I'll be firing
Mhm.
some questions at you,
Yeah.
um, how has, the how's lockdown been for your industry and yourself? And how have you found, like, solutions to deal with dealing
Yeah.
with customers and things like that?
Um, so I don't personally deal with customers because I
Okay.
work in the office, so it would be client based. But my
Mhm.
current role that I've rotated into isn't client facing. So my only clients would be like stakeholders within the bank,
Yeah.
so like managers and VPs, etc. Um, but initially, it had been tough as a grad in lockdown because my third rotation, which started in March, was right before lockdown began across the UK, which was I think mid-March. So I'd spent 2 weeks in that role in the office. So I'd met everyone, and then we went into lockdown. so I hadn't really learned the role properly.
Mhm.
So then learning it from home without being there with everyone in the office was quite difficult. But I think everyone was in the same boat at the time, so we've just all gone through this tough time together. And I think it's been quite tough for banks across the board, um, just because people are quite strained on money as well. So especially
Mhm.
customers, people are losing their jobs, etc. It's quite a tough time for people. So I think not just banking, but all industries have been affected. But me
Yeah.
personally, it was just hard working from home as well. But now it's just become the new norm. So
Yeah,
I
it
kind of
does.
don't want to go back to the office. Maybe after all this, it might just be 2, 3 days a week that I'll be in the office. But I don't
Okay.
miss getting the tube every morning. So
No, I don't think anyone is missing their
no,
commute anymore. Working from home
no,
is great. Um,
yeah,
so are you ready? Because I'm gonna be firing some questions up at you
sure,
for the last 4 minutes.
that's
So,
fine.
first question I have got for you was it easy balancing a job and your studies?
Um, are you talking about my placement year or just
Yeah, so, like, your
okay,
placement year and how sort of how you managed to
all
do
right.
everything.
Well, I'm actually studying now as well,
Oh,
for
okay.
this, yeah, for a qualification called the CFA, which
Mhm.
stands for Chartered Financial Analyst.
Yeah.
And it's quite highly recognized in the world of finance. So yeah, it's very tough. There's a 6-hour exam at the end of it. It's
Mm.
split into two, so there's like a lunch break in the middle.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, but I'll be sitting that exam in December, and the pass rate's usually around 40% of people that pass, so it's quite difficult. So
Mhm.
hopefully, yeah, but thankfully at my bank they do encourage you to study as well, so they do give us study leave. So I've been able to
Great.
manage my time to some extent. And working
Mhm.
from home, I've cut out the hours of travel and maybe the hours of hanging out with work colleagues after work. So I can just log off, go to the gym at home, work out at home, and then start studying in the evening some days. So it's been difficult, but I think if you've got a plan in place, it can be done. It's just getting into a routine, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I've got for you is, during your time at university, what kept you motivated?
Um, just the fact that I didn't want to fail, really. So I didn't want to come out to uni with a lower grade than I know that I can achieve. I didn't
Mhm.
want to waste the potential that I knew I had, because I didn't want to waste 4 years of my life really and come out with a degree that I didn't want. So I think the A levels gave me the sort of kick that I needed of not achieving then doesn't mean that I can't achieve now. So thankfully, I achieved the degree that I wanted. But also, I do think it is the people that you surround yourself with at uni,
Mhm.
because I thankfully had a lot of positive friends who knew how to sort of have their leisure time, but also how to work hard. So it's just yeah, you just have to sort of manage all your distractions, because there's so many distractions at uni. It's it's crazy.
Um, so what also, and you've touched kind of on the placement support that you had, from our team, but what other support was available to you as a student? Did you make use
Hello?
of Oh, can you hear me, Ozzy?
Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
now
hear you now, yeah.
yeah, there we go. Always something goes wrong on the live stream. A little bit of internet issue there. Apologies for that.
That's all right.
Um,
Alright.
so what kind of, as you say, you had the placement support from, our
Yeah.
team. What other support sort of did you access, and what kind of helped you during your time? So did you make use
Well, I was
of, like,
part of
academic
several
support?
sorry, did I make what, sorry?
So did you make use of, like, academic support and things like that?
Oh, yeah, no, I did make use of academic support. Obviously, there's a lot of facilities at the uni that I made use of. Especially in my final year, I had a good relationship with my lecturers. I could ask them questions on a regular basis. Yeah, just yeah, I had a lot of classes like tutorials that you can't really miss in finance.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, I was part of several societies, which sort of helped take my mind off the university work life, and it sort of helped you meet new people and just have a great time at uni. And also people on your course you might meet who can give you additional tips on assignments and lectures, etc. So yeah,
I think that's a really sort of kind of great point to end on. And like Ozzy said, like during his time during uni, he made the most of
Yeah,
our placement team. He made the most of like having good, positive people around him. Um, if you want more information on the accounting and economics courses that we offer, there we will put it in the comments so you're able to find it. And it's also just below us. I love when that happens. But for now, I think we will leave it there. I'd like to say a massive thank you for Ozzy for joining us and sharing your
no problem.
experience. It's been great to speak to you. Thank you everybody for watching, and keep an eye out for more live streams to come. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.